Hi, everyone. Welcome to Strictly Business. We're extremely lucky today to be joined by the founder and president of the social enterprise GVAN, Miss Sana Mittar. Sana, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm really, really good. Thank you. I'm really happy to have you on today on Strictly Business. And we'll get started straight away. Sana, tell
Thank
us a
you
bit
so
about
much.
yourself. Who are you? What do you do?
Okay, so I'm a first year undergraduate student at the University of Warwick, and I'm studying economics, politics, and international studies. And as you said, I'm the founder and president of Global Volunteers Action Network that we call GVAN. And I think that's about me.
GVAN is a social enterprise. Just give everyone watching a brief idea. What does GVAN do?
Okay, so GVAN is basically a platform where we work under three pillars. The first is where we connect local NGOs with volunteers whom we train in soft skills and give them capacity building trainings. Then the second pillar that we work on is art for advocacy, where we use our social media channels to sort of create awareness about the UN SDGs through our awareness programs on social media and through people who advocate through their art. And lastly, the third pillar that we work on is partnerships for social good, where we partner with youth organizations who are working to promote the UN SDGs, and we create small term intervention projects with them. Which are aimed at creating awareness or empowering people to take action for the UN SDGs.
What was the inspiration behind starting GVAN?
So, like you said, I've studied a lot about the UN SDGs, but I think that wasn't the main foundation or the main inspiration from where I started Jeevan. I think for the last 2, 3 years, I've been working with a lot of social impact organizations. I've interned with a lot of places, and I sort of gained that work experience in the area of social impact, where I've understood the various means by which we can sort of advocate for social change. I think the biggest would be when I did a fellowship with Vilac India and Instagram. It's called the Counter Speech Fellowship, where they teach their fellows how to advocate for social change through social media, which I think is a very important digital tool at this point to sort of propagate for change. And I think that was the starting point in my journey. And for 2 years, I think I've worked with too many organizations to understand the workings. And then I always, felt that I needed to do something, that I needed to start, and I had to sort of give back to society. But I could never just narrow down on that one cause that I was really, really passionate about, because there were multiple causes that I wanted to work on that I had been working for. And I knew that there were a lot of people out there just like me who could not maybe specify down on one issue, but they had it in them to sort of give back to the society. And I think that's where the pandemic hit and the timing matched, where I saw that there were so many social enterprises and so many NGOs who needed people who were passionate about social change and who were passionate about this sort of work, but just there wasn't a link between them. And I think that's where the idea of Jeevan was born.
So GVAN comes in as that platform in the middle that's going to connect everyone, because everyone you believe is able in this world to volunteer and provide their services to help the community. And GVAN is that platform in the middle that's going to bring those volunteers to those NGOs and help support each other, basically improve the world around us.
You rightly said that Jeevan does believe that everybody has the ability and the capacity to give back to society, and that's something that I personally believe in. And I think it's just been carried forward in the ethos of what Jeevan believes in. I think we say it all the time. There's no age barrier, there's no skill barrier, and if you ever think that there is a skill barrier to the sort of work that you're doing, we're always there to train you, to support you, whether you're a volunteer or an NGO or a youth organization. We're doing that sort of work.
That's amazing to be providing that opportunity to thousands of people across the world to be able to do that. You talked a bit about how you did the fellowship. That's where the initial spark was there. and then after that you did a bit of internships across the board to get that experience. How vital do you think that is for someone who's looking to start a business, be it a social enterprise or a for-profit business, whatever it is? How important do you think that experience was for you before you set out on your own? Would you recommend to every entrepreneur out there, or person looking to start a social enterprise, that no, you know what, first get your experience somewhere and then go on and start your own? Or do you think it's possible to just go on and get started?
I think there have been a lot of people who have started their own social enterprises, who started their own businesses. But I think every entrepreneur sort of resonates with one idea. And I strongly believe in this. I heard somebody say that in one of their interviews, that until and unless you don't see a problem, or you are not a part of the problem, you can't really find a solution for it. So when you talk about me, I applied as a volunteer to a lot of places. I was a UN volunteer at UNICEF India. And I think I was a part of that system to sort of understand where there's a lack between the volunteers, where there's a lack from the side of the organization. And UNICEF is a big organization. But talking about the smaller NGOs, I worked with smaller NGOs as well and seen where they lack that sort of capacity. So I think it becomes very important to first be a very, very small part of the problem that you're trying to encounter, and whether it be a social enterprise or a for-profit business, because even if you're putting out a product or service into the society, you are sort of solving a problem or a need that you've seen in the society. So I think it becomes very important. As for having that work experience to sort of know how to deal with things or how to manage a team, I think that is something that can be built upon. You can learn as you go. I'm still learning that. I'm not an expert, but I think just having that clarity that you see the need of the problem, you've been a part of the problem, and then you have that vision or that passion to work for it, I think that really makes a difference.
It's good to hear that you have that experience. I'm sure it's just gone on to help you more and more as you progress throughout. Where are you guys right now with the whole enterprise as a whole? What's the direction looking like? What work are you guys doing right now?
Very exciting work for sure, because we've opened up our volunteer forms for our first cohort of volunteers to sort of come in and work with us. And so the volunteer forms are open right now. We've been partnering with a lot of NGOs across the country. So we have, I think, NGOs in almost every state of India now who are our partners, and we're also partnering with a lot of youth organizations and social impact organizations to create our small term intervention projects. So I think currently going good with the pilot, I would say.
How important has your team been to you, and what advice would you give to leaders regarding managing their team?
Oh, my team is, I think I've been very, very lucky with my team. They took my brainchild and made it into a reality. They made this organization with me. I think I will always, always maintain that without these 11 people, this organization would have still been a brainchild and just a project idea if they weren't there to help me and support me. And I think, I mean, I'm growing as a leader as I move ahead with my team, and I'm learning every day how to be a better leader for them, with them, and how to maintain that founder president vision, but also have the team work with me and not below me or anything like that. So yeah, I think for somebody who's sort of managing a team or is in a leadership position, I think the most important thing is one, to be empathetic, to understand that your team has many commitments apart from this as well, and they're trying to do their best. So even if you think that the work efficiency is a bit less, not every time are you going to match that work efficiency or that speed with everybody. So you can take it slow and understand where the other person is coming from, and also communicate your needs to them so that your working is going efficiently. But I think it's very important to be empathetic, and at the same time have that connect with your team, that they don't feel intimidated when they need to sort of come and talk to you or give you feedback on the work that you're doing, because you're always in that position where you can tell them that, what, I think this is not right, this is not fine. But to have that dynamic where they can come and tell you the same thing, I think that is very important. I do strive for it, and I really hope I do that for my team, and I hope I can continue to do that for them. And yeah, I think I would give that. I think that's the advice I would give to anybody who's in a leadership position.
Empathy is vital, and to have the social and emotional intelligence to understand what people are feeling from that leadership position, I think is only going to help you and help Jeevan grow as you go forward. Where are we looking in 10 years time? What's the dream? If I said 10 years from now, where is Jeevan going to be? Is it going to be the side hustle social enterprise that you started when you were at uni, or is it going to be this became my life alongside maybe other businesses or a job or something? Where is Jeevan going to be in 10 years, and where are you going to be with Jeevan?
I think definitely the latter, that it becomes the thing that I'm working on, along with something else, maybe other businesses or a job, or maybe nothing else, maybe just this. I definitely don't think that it's it's something that I've just confined to. Okay, this is something I started in university, and that's where I'm going to leave it. I don't think so, because I think it took me a very long time to sort of come up with this. Like I said, I think it took me about 2 years to sort of finalize what I want to do, what I want to start. And I think it's taken another 6, 7 months to build it up. And for me, it's not about something I add to my CV when I'm in university. So I did this. It's not that for me, because I think it's more about my vision and my ethos that I carry as a person. And I think I genuinely believe in the fact that no matter who you are, where you come from, there's always scope to give back. And I have always believed in that. So I think I'm going to keep that alive and make Jeevan as big as I can.
I
That's the
think
ambitious uni student talking, that I want to sort of take it as big as I want to. But yeah.
no, I mean, what you got to think big, otherwise you may as well close down shop and leave. But no, I think that that's really, really good that you have that ambition to grow it as big as possible. And growth is success ultimately. If you're reaching more people, you're helping more people through the social enterprise. And Sana, honestly, I believe that this work, to be doing such work at such a young age, to have that mentality is unbelievable. I've got to give credit to you. There are people, who don't think, no one thinks like this when they're 18, or not many people do at least. So I mean, it's really, really good that you're thinking like this, and I definitely think you're a source of inspiration for anyone watching this video, or even beyond that. I'm sure your friends around you are inspired by the work you're doing. What advice would you give to anyone? I mean, you started researching this 2 years ago. You would have been 16 at the time. How does a 16-year-old think, I want to do this, or I have this idea in mind? What advice would you give to someone, any entrepreneur out there of any age? What advice would you give to them regarding where you got that idea from, or how you believe they can help them change the world?
I think one thing for sure that I didn't know about, or that I didn't take into account, is that the first idea you have, it's not going to be it. You're going to improve on that idea so much, because I think Jeevan started off as just, I connect volunteers and NGOs, and that was it. I mean, there was nothing beyond that. But as I started researching and I read more about it, I sort of realized that, there are so many fallacies in this working. There's no unique selling point. There are too many people doing this. Somebody creates a database and you're out of business. What is the unique selling point? Where are you even targeting the problem to its root? Why is the reason? I mean, what is the reason why? Volunteers are not working for NGOs? Why are NGOs not taking in people? There were too many questions to be asked, and I think as I went along, this idea developed. It start as a 16-year-old. It started off as, I want to do something, and I want to do something changed into, okay, maybe I want to target target mental well-being and gender equality. But how do I combine those two? Then it became, okay, I want to target these two problems and maybe also climate change, and this and that also affects me. And then there's clean water and sanitation that is not provided to people, and that also affects me. And I see these problems around me. Being a girl from India, I think I've seen most of these problems in front of me. So it I could see it in front of my eyes, and I couldn't do much about it. So even that mentality of you're too young to do something about that can bring about a big change. I think that is definitely something that I've constantly been fighting against. And I would say that to anybody out there who wants to start something of their own, you don't have to define your work by the age that you are. You start whenever you want to. But I think let yourself be open to criticism, feedback, and let your idea grow, because you never know where you end up reaching. Even right now, I would say that Jeevan is doing this currently, but a year down the line, we might be taking up different things that we didn't initially think about. So I think just be open to that, but have a clear vision, have a clear ethos, and have a clear, a set of values that you know that this is there, this is non-negotiable, but we can expand in any which way you can, because I would say social good can come from anywhere, from any person, and in any form. So keep that going.
Wealth of advice has just been handed down over to me. Thank you for that, Sana. I hope to incorporate some of that advice. You know, that being flexible with the idea, I believe, is so important. Adaptability in a world that we now live in is is of paramount importance. And I think what you've done with your idea has shown just that. I hope you guys continue being adaptable and flexible and turn out to be something much bigger and much greater than you already are. And, I mean, I wish you the best of luck going forwards. I'm really, really thankful that you've joined me today. Anything else you'd like to say to everyone?
Uh, Firstly, I would say thank you for having me. I think you're doing something very, very fantastic with your channel, and I wish you the best of luck. And to everybody watching, I would just say that I think if you're an entrepreneur, start when you want to. There's no age limit. If you're not an entrepreneur, if you want to, have a social impact by not starting something of your own, there are places like Jeevan that are trying to get people involved with social impact. So reach out. You might find something that is meaningful to you. And for everybody else, like, subscribe, and share Strictly Business. I
Um,
can be a YouTuber too.
you
I
can,
guess.
you definitely can. Thank you, Sana. Thank you very, very much for that. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Stay tuned. Plenty more coming away on Strictly Business. Hope you have a good one.